What's up, gang? Hey man, I got another banger video. Make sure you watch this one to the very end because I got a ton of gold nuggets. Also, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't done so already, jump into the CLG community. It is only $48 a month, less than $500 a year with the 20% discount. And you get a free one-on-one call with me when you sign up. So jump in, DM me, talk to me, work out your problems. Let's try to get you to an elite level sooner rather than later. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video.
Women talk about how much they miss an alpha masculine man, and I want a man to come and do this for me and provide and take care of me, and I'm tired and I fell for the feminism and the working and I'm exhausted and I want to have kids, but I seldom hear them say, and this is what I will give.
Never. That's true. That's facts. Yeah, man, women do talk about, you know, they tired of these feminine men. You hear it a lot on podcasts. You hear it a lot with the girls talking about the California guys, you know what I mean? How the guys in California, the girls don't know if they gay or straight, you know what I mean? They very feminine, they very passive, they very let the woman take the lead, and women truly just don't like it. You know what I mean? Like deep down inside, they don't like it. And they say that they want the alpha males back and all this crazy stuff like that. But a lot of them don't make the cut for the alpha males because a lot of women, they never put themselves in a position as to, they never put themselves in the man's position, right? So a lot of these modern day women, they only think about what they want, right? They takers. What can I get? 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 Right? But they never really sit down and ask themselves, what do they offer? You know what I mean? And what they're going to find out, and it's going to be harsh, but it's going to be true. What they're going to find out is a lot of them don't have really much to offer outside of their pussy or their throat. You know what I mean? Some women offer more. If they really understood what they offered, and they really understood what their value proposition was, and they really dug deep, and they understood that they were more than just a pussy or a throat to a man, it'll be a lot more women getting in relationships, but it's actually the opposite. So what's happening is the projections are showing that more and more women are actually going to be single by like a very high percentage. I don't know the exact percentage, but they're saying about 2030. I think it's going to be like 50 to 60% of women being single. And it's actually the graph is going down for women in relationships. So basically what that means is hookup culture and feminism is running rampant in today's world, right? If you do want a family, what I'll tell you guys is choose wisely. You know what I mean? You don't got to do the main bitch rotation bitch thing that I do. But if you do want a family with somebody, choose wisely. You get what I'm trying to say? And you still have to understand the CLG mindset so you can keep this girl obsessed with you. You can keep her chasing you, right? Because at the end of the day, you want the girl chasing the guy. That is the best relationship. If the guy ever finds himself in a position where he's constantly chasing her, that relationship will be coming to an end soon, right? And you gotta understand, a lot of women check out of relationships without leaving them. So you'll have a girl that's not in love with a guy for years, you know, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 years, just not in love with this guy. And he's just chasing, trying to do more. And what's happening is he's just pushing her further and further away. You know what I mean? Opposed to allowing her to chase him. And a lot of guys just don't have that part figured out because a lot of guys aren't alpha. A lot of guys don't move to the beat of their own drum. A lot of guys have allowed the criticism of women to actually affect their behavior, right? I tell guys all the time, you can hear a woman but never listen to a woman. You know what I mean? You know, I get women that tell me a lot of stuff all the time and they don't ever actually follow through with it with their actions. I get women that tell me they want to wait till marriage before they hook up. But, you know, I literally just got done hooking up with one right now. You feel me? Like full sex, full blowjob, full everything. You get what I'm trying to say? So they'll say one thing but do another thing. So that's another thing that guys got to realize is like guys are so used to people like saying stuff that they actually do. So it throws them off when they're dealing with the opposite sex, which is the female who will say something but do the opposite. You know what I mean? She will flat out tell you, you know, I don't believe in premarital sex, and then shortly after, she will proceed to suck your dick and say, why do you make me naughty? Why do you make me a bad girl? You know what I mean? Why do you make me break the rules? And I don't even say shit. You know what I mean? I don't even say shit. When it's time to get your dick sucked, when it's time to fuck, a lot of times it's just better to just be quiet. Say less. You know what I mean? don't talk yourself out of the pussy. I think a lot of guys, they actually believe what women say, and they actually listen to them, and they actually want to, their natural instincts want to come in to kind of persuade the woman or argue with the woman, or, you know what I mean, try to convince the woman to do something. And in a lot of cases, you really don't got to convince them. For example, if a girl's telling you that she doesn't hook up on the first date, or she doesn't do that, or she's not that type of girl, she's basically in so many words telling you that she is that type of girl, because she wouldn't have said nothing if she wasn't. You know what I mean? If you just chilling and y'all just making out and stuff like that, and she's like, oh no, you know, no, we can't go back to my house. I'm not that type of girl. You know, I don't usually do stuff like this. We're not hooking up. Or she does agree that you go to her house, and she's like, I'm just letting you know nothing's going to happen. 9 times out of 10, something's going to happen. Unless you fuck it up. Unless you try to convince her. Unless you try to use your words to convince her. But if you just shut the fuck up and just play it cool, 9 times out of 10, something's going to happen. You feel me? And the reason that is because girls are backwards, bro. They say a lot of stuff that they don't mean. You know, like, if you really listen to a girl describe the type of guy that she wants, it's never the guy that she actually dates. What happens is girls are known for doing this. They want to get the bad boy, and they want to turn him into a good boy. As guys, we just rather the fucking good girl. We don't want to turn the hoe into the housewife. We know that she can't be changed. We just take the girl as she is, and we don't want to change her. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, we're not trying to change the girl. Like, if we're dating a hoe, we know we dating a hoe. Like, you know what I mean? If we dating a fucking good girl, we know that we're dating a good girl. We're not trying to actually change that girl. Most guys aren't trying to actually change that girl. You know what I mean? Especially me. I know what type of girl you are. I know that you're always gonna resort back to baseline. Meaning that if when you were single, you was sucking a whole bunch of dick, I know that you're always gonna resort back to that eventually. You might even be faithful in a relationship for 5 years. You might be faithful for 6 years. You might be faithful. Some girls can't even be faithful for 6 months. Some girls commit infidelity on the wedding day. Or on the fucking bachelor party before the fucking wedding. Or the bachelorette party, my bad. Not the bachelor party. You get what I'm trying to say? So, me understanding females, me understanding female nature, me understanding how female brains work, it allows me to have so much peace when I'm dealing with the woman. You know what I mean? I never let anything the woman says throw me off. You know what I mean? Like just last night, the girl was like, she was like, oh, I'm going to sleep. You can stay over if you want to, but I'm just letting you know nothing's happening. I'm going to sleep. I didn't even say nothing to that fucking comment. You feel me? I didn't even say nothing to that fucking comment. And I act like I was finna go to sleep with her. And then before I know, she rubbing on my dick. You feel me? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, all right, bet, we going to sleep. I didn't believe her. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Before I know, she bumping that little ass against my dick, rubbing on my dick. Okay, shit, I guess you ain't sleep. We ain't have to say nothing. Before I know, I'm getting my dick sucked. You feel me? Before I know, I'm breaking this little girl's pussy. So, like, that's what I try to get in you guys' head, is like, the words of a female shouldn't be really taken serious. I know you guys want to take it serious. I know you guys want to believe everything women say. I know you guys, I get it, bro. We live in a society where they tell you to do this. But literally, you're just brainwashed. That's all. You just been brainwashed. That's it. You know what I mean? That's why it takes some guys to be in the CLG community for a very long time for them to finally get it. Even though my teachings are very simple and easy to understand, but when you go in the field and you're actually dealing with the woman, sometimes your brain can kind of shut down. Like, sometimes because of the woman's beauty, you actually start believing what she says because of how she says it. See, you got to understand that everything I'm talking about, I don't listen to no woman. So there's no sweet little pretty voice that can trick me. There's no submissive voice that can trick me. There's no smell that she has. There's no beauty that can trick me out of my spot. You know what I mean? Like, there's none of that shit works on me. The reason why it doesn't work on me, because I know that women are similar. Whether it's an ugly bitch or a pretty bitch, they are fucking similar. As long as you meet their minimum attraction threshold, and you do what the fuck you supposed to do in the CLG community, your results will skyrocket. Nothing is 100%. That's why I always tell guys, you got to be in the field. You can't go out in the field, try to use the CLG on one girl and then not get results and be like, man, this don't work, man. No, bro. It's consistency. You have the best process. You have the best systems. You have the best everything. Now you just got to make sure you use that on every fucking girl that you deal with. Trust me, this shit fucking works like magic. You know what I mean? Every time I find myself going away from the CLG method, that's when I have problems with women. Every time I stick true to the CLG method, that's when women fall right in line and do what I want them to do. And they're happy doing it. That's the crazy part. See, a lot of you guys have never really had a woman moaning while she's sucking your dick, excited to suck your dick. A lot of you guys never had a woman who swallows your cum, squeezes your dick, and then swallows the extra cum that came out afterwards. A lot of you guys have never had that. A lot of you guys have never had a woman fighting for the bill to try to pay for something just to prove, like, just to get extra brownie points in your eyes that she should be taken more serious than rotation. You know what I mean? A lot of you guys have never had that feeling. And for the guys that have had that feeling, you know exactly what I'm talking about. See, the guys who have had women obsessed with them, they know exactly what I'm talking about. There's guys that DM me all the time, be like, damn, bro, nigga, everything you saying accurate as fuck. Because see, those guys, they've been with women. They remember when they didn't do the CLG way. They remember when they had their care turned up. They remember all of this stuff, and they remember how they were treated by the woman. And then they remember when they had their care turned down, and they followed the CLG process, and they made things happen. And they remember how much they got out of the woman. It's almost like it was a completely different woman, even though it was the same girl. So the guys that are actually dealing with women, they know that I'm telling the truth. Now, the guys that aren't dealing with women, it's still a little bit mind-blowing to them because they haven't seen it in practice yet, because their lack of women that they've dealt with, or the lack of women that they even spoke to. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys out there that suffer from approach anxiety, right? That is a mental block that you must overcome. You know what I mean? Eventually, you know what I mean? And you don't have to approach girls in real life. You can do the online stuff. We do live in an online world where you can just post pictures of yourself and swipe and do all that stuff too. So you don't have to be the best at, seeing a girl that you like and going up to her. But I don't think it's a bad skill set to have. To be honest, I think it's a skill set that if you can see a girl that's attractive and you can go to her, no matter where she's at, whether she's at the mall, whether she's at the laundromat, whether you're just walking down the street, that skill set is transferable to other things in your life, right? That skill set is transferable. That is this transferable skill set, whether that goes to business, whether that goes to having hard conversations to get raises at your job, whether that goes for applying for jobs, whether that goes for building a social circle or a group of friends that are reliable and trustworthy. That skill set is very, very, very transferable. You know what I mean? What I call that skill set is called having balls. And a lot of men just don't have balls nowadays, which is cool. You feel me? Because eventually, if you stay in the CLG community long enough, you will have balls. Eventually, you will have balls. Eventually, you will run out of excuses. You know what I mean? For some people, it might take 5 months. For some people, it might take 5 years. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But eventually, you will run out of excuses to not perform. You know what I mean? Unless you quit. Now, if you quit, that's a different story, right? But slow and steady wins the race, right? They say slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? So moving in the right direction is better than not moving at all. Now, if you quit, then, you know what I mean, you just gave up, you threw in the towel. That means that you didn't want the result that bad. You didn't want the result as bad as you said that you wanted it. That's all that means. See, I'm a guy that uses my eyes, not my ears. See, I used to be gullible when I was a kid. My mom used to pick on me about this. I used to believe everything people said because I was an honest kid myself. So when people was telling me stuff, I used to believe all the extravagant stories. And then when I found out that they lied, it would hurt me so bad because I would believe it until I found out that it wasn't a lie. You know what I mean? My mom was like, you gotta stop being so goddamn gullible. And I would be in these positions where I would always fall for like the banana in the tailpipe. Like, you know what I mean? I always get tricked. And this when I was like really young, because I just believed everything everybody said. And then I hit a point in time where I was like, you know what? Let me start watching people's actions. And life became better. Once I started watching people's actions and started ignoring their words, life became better. And this is even with girls and guys. Guys will lie to you too. You feel me? The majority of population will lie to make themselves seem better than they are, to make themselves come off as more, relevant, whatever. Everybody has their own reasons for lying, right? Everybody has their own reasons for lying. For results. A lot, like if you see a lot of these guys on the internet that have really huge followings and stuff like that, they lie all the time, but they lie for monetary value and results. You feel me? Like, even though it's short term, like they don't think long enough to be like, if I just was honest, told the truth, grinded, it might take me longer to hit my peak, but when I do hit my peak, I'm gonna stay there longer as well. Opposed to let me lie, hit my peak at a shorter period of time, but the crash is going to be harder, because once your fans figured out that you're a lying piece of shit, you're going to lose a lot of them very quickly. Extremely quickly. So the better way to do it is slow and steady, because slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? They said that in the F1 movie, Brad Pitt's line. That was actually a really good line. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And I'm like, that is so fucking true. Smooth is fast. The smoother you are, the faster you are. You get what I'm trying to say? Sometimes you do gotta slow down a little bit just to gain speed, if that makes any logical sense. And if it doesn't make sense, basically what I'm saying is sometimes you gotta take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward. Meaning that sometimes you gotta relax, take in the information, understand what's going on, and then apply it. But slow it down, so you know that it works. You know what I mean? You don't have to rush a girl through a process. Slow it down a little bit, so you know that this shit works. You know what I mean? You know that this shit works. Girls will thank you for not listening to their words. Girls will admire you for being a man. Girls will admire you for being selfish, moving to the beat of your own drum, making things happen. They will admire you for that. They just can't say it because they have to be politically correct with their words. So girls admire all of the traits that they complain about men. Because why do they keep dating those men? Oh, my last boyfriend was a narcissist. My last boyfriend was an asshole. My last boyfriend was this. So why do you keep complaining about that shit? And why do you keep dating those guys? Out of all the guys you have to choose from, you're a very attractive girl. Out of all the guys that you have to choose from, why do you keep choosing that type of guy? And then when you get tired of that type of guy and you choose the guy that isn't that type of guy, you find yourself extremely bored extremely quickly in a relationship with that type of guy. For example, there's a chick that I was talking to. She was used to dating the bad boys, right? She just was all the bad boys, assholes, this person played her, but she had very strong emotions for those guys. Like, she basically, in so many words, said that she loved those guys, right? But then she decided to give this good guy a try, right? Like she said he was a little dorky, a little quiet, a little nerdy, gave that guy a try. And I was like, well, how long did that last? She was like, less than a month. I was like, why so quick? You know what I mean? She's like, I just didn't like him. Like, I was like, did he do anything wrong? She was like, he didn't do anything wrong. So I'm like, so why didn't you like him? She's like, I don't know. Like, he wasn't like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, and I told her, I said, well, you're a little goofy and a little dorky. And she's like, yeah, but I don't want the guy that I'm dealing with to be like that. But I said, so why did you give him a chance in the first place? Well, I thought I wanted something different from the bad boy, but I'm so addicted to the bad boy. And she just flat out said it. She's addicted to these motherfuckers. And most girls are. And you would think the girl that I'm talking about was like some kind of booger whoop or some kind of ran through whore or some shit like that. No. 2-parent household, solid student, 4.0 or 3 point something GPA. You know what I mean? I deal with a certain type of girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these motherfuckers, they think that I deal with girls that's my type. if I can't get excited talking to the girl, I will not pursue her any further. Like, if I meet her and I don't get excited about her, it's very difficult for me to do anything further with her, because I know my system works. I know my process works. I've done it so many times that, like, I know it works at a high enough percentage that I could possibly bag this bitch. So if I know it works at a high enough percentage that I can possibly bag her, the last thing I want to do is bag a bitch that I'm not excited about. You get what I'm trying to say? That's like the last thing I want to do, is like go through the motions with a bitch that I don't care about. You know what I mean? Like, I actually want to care about the bitches that I have sex with. I just don't want to change them. Like, if I know that this bitch is a whore, I want to keep her in rotation. You can be my little whore. You feel me? I don't want to change you. You can still be a whore. Like, you can still do that. I just know that I can't take you serious. Right? I don't want to change you, baby. You can be who you are. You can have fun. You can let your hair down. You can suck my dick in random places. You can do horse slut shit with me. But please don't push that marriage talk with me. Let's just have fun. You know what I mean? Let's just have fun. We having so much fun. Why you want to marry me all of a sudden? You know what I mean? Why you want to marry me? I know that you not going to be able to handle marriage with me. You feel me? And I don't want to change you. You're not going to be able to handle how strict. The way I treat some bitch I'm fucking with in rotation is completely different how I'm going to treat a main bitch. You know what I mean? Yes, you're going to get more perks. But a lot of women, they don't give a fuck about the perks. They don't give a fuck about having their bills paid, all that shit like that. They don't give a fuck about that shit, because they still want to be free spirits. So if you want to be a free spirit, be a free spirit. Just know that I'm not going to marry you, bitch. Like, you can't have both. You can't be a free spirit and be married. Like, you know what I mean? Like, something got to give, because you got to understand, baby girl, once you get married to a guy, that is, you have to be submissive to that guy. Like, you have to be his servant in a way. Like, once y'all want to take it up real serious, even to the main bitch role, you gotta be that nigga servant. And that's where a lot of bitches see you. A lot of bitches want the ring in the marriage, but they don't want to serve. See, that's where the bitches fold. They want the glamour, but they don't want to put in the work. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, that's the society that we live in. So since I know that about you, because I know females and I know that how that they're similar, and I know how you roll like these other fucking females, since I know that about you, I'm not going to act like it's something that it's not. I'm not going to be blinded by my dick. I'm not going to allow my dick to be like, yeah, marry her, nigga, marry her. Yeah, tell her whatever she want to hear. No, hell no. Because I know the truth and you know the truth. If you used to get off when you were single, that means that you have that in you, right? You have that gene. You like to get off, right? Why the fuck would I lock you down, take you off the market, and you still want to get off? Why would I do that? You feel me? I know and you know that is against your nature. But I also know that you do want a status boost. And a lot of modern day women, they aren't getting married out of necessity, because they don't really, a lot of these modern day women don't need a man. They just want a man because they have unlimited options. So they don't really need a fucking man. But they want that status boost. They want that status boost to be able to walk around with a man as if it's her puppy. I got a man. This is my man. No, bitch. You're his girl. Like, everything that the modern day woman does is so masculine. Even the fact that they say, this is my man. You my man. This is, you know what I mean? I got a man. He my man. Hands off, girls. Like, that's very masculine. Like, even the word choices that women use are masculine word choices. And the guy just sits there like a fucking doormat while this girl talks like this. And it's like, you're naturally feminine. You're like, if this girl is running around saying, this is my man, it's almost, when I see a girl say, this is my man, and the guy just sit there all passive and shit, it's almost like I can envision a collar around this nigga neck and she holding the goddamn leash. Like, you know what I mean? Like, almost like a dominatrix, whatever they call that shit. Like, almost like one of those like she's a dominant person in those old school sex films. What is it called? Bondage, I think. Bondage stuff. Yeah. Like she's the dominant woman holding a collar around this little pussy's neck. No, bro. That's not how it works. If it's a masculine man, you're his girl. You follow his fucking program. You know what I mean? Your whole life, once y'all choose to hook up, he pursues you, whatever the case is. Once you're his, your life revolves around him, making him happy. Not the other way around, boo-boo. So that's what I really wanted to stress to you guys today is, bro, a lot of these girls, they want the title. They want the relationship. They want the certain type of guy. They want the alpha. But they, in my opinion, they don't really want that shit, bro. Because if they really wanted that shit, they know how to really get it. Girls know that men want submissive women that listen to them, that allow their man to take the lead. Like, these dudes is gonna take the lead. You feel me? So the reason it didn't work out with that alpha guy that you tried to date is because once that nigga started putting pressure on your ass and he started trying to take you serious, you know what I mean? You say shit like, oh, he's controlling. He's controlling. No, bitch, you controlling. You trying to change him into something that he's not. You trying to turn a man into a pussy. You trying to turn a man into a little pussycat. You get what I'm trying to say? You the controlling one, but you blaming him for being controlling. It don't make no sense to me. So that's my little rant for today, man. Like I said, man, it's early in the morning, man. I just got done knocking down some pussy, so I'm a little tired. But make sure you guys lock into the CLG community. Only $48 a month, less than $500 a year with the 20% discount. Also, do the free 101 as soon as you jump in. Just send me a DM. Let's schedule our free 101 call. Let's talk it out. Let's hash it up, and let's help you with what you want help with specifically. And with that being said, man, I'm out. Peace.